Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning. How's everyone doing? Oh, Monday. Feels good today. I don't know. Maybe it's because I had an extra day or not an extra full day, but a little extra time to not talk all that much into a microphone. Missed you guys on Friday. I was back on the air for the baseball game, and, man, Friday was a bummer of a baseball game for that 8th inning, that's for sure. But never heard from anyone, so I guess everything went very well, and that's good to hear, good to know. How you guys doing today? Matt Jones, Matt Travis, missed you on Friday. What's new?
We missed you too, Phil.
Yeah, I miss you back, Phil, but it's always good to talk to a champion, and you're a champion today.
It's funny that you put it like that. I texted Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn and Nate Thompson, congratulations after Saturday's loss, because we knew by then that they were going to be co-champions at the very least with Florida, and I got an answer back from Matt Hobbs that let me know that in no uncertain terms that I won the conference too. Nothing. Oh man, all those words, all those calories that I expended just talking into a microphone had so much to do with you guys winning 20 conference games. But thank you very much. I guess I will get a ring, so I guess
you're champions, man. It's a long season, too. And you people make fun or say stuff like, there's ties in soccer. This kind of felt like a tie. It kind of felt like both teams got a point. You let one slip away a little bit if you wanted an outright championship, but you can't discredit it. They still, it's a long season, a long journey, and there was a lot of hits that were made, a lot of successful nights, and still successful season anytime you can be crowned champs, even if it is co-champs.
Yeah, I hope we got the heartbreak out of the way, because that 8th inning on Friday just sucked. That was not a lot of fun. You could kind of see it slipping out of the way. An 8-2 lead turned into a 10-8 loss. A lot of flukiness in that 8th inning with a ground ball that knocked a pitcher's glove off. Ball was barely hit, popped up, bunt, found a way to fall in. You get a hit batsman on an 0-2 count. You get a home run from a guy who hadn't homered all year long and had 12 at-bats all year. It was kind of crazy. But, yeah, I mean, that's why there is that bittersweet feeling, knowing. And true, people say there's a bittersweet feeling. Sometimes you're like, well, all right, point out the sweetness of it. There is a sweetness to this. Of winning an SEC championship for the second time in the last 4 years, in the last 3 years, of winning 20 conference games, and knowing right now that no matter what happens in Hoover, you are a top 8 national
You're hosting
seed.
a regional, yeah.
Not only are you hosting a regional, but you'll host a super regional if you win your home regional.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you're in a really good position here in Hoover to have no pressure whatsoever. You don't have to throw guys on short rest. You don't have to throw pitchers that you feel you have to pitch because you got to win a ball game. None of that's going on here for Arkansas. What they can do is, kind of get guys right. I think the important things are to get timing back for hitters whose timing might be a little bit off, to get the young pitchers who haven't had a lot of work or guys that might have struggled a bit last weekend, like a Gage Wood, to get them back going where they were.
Kind of catch your breath a little bit.
Well, and then there's the aspect to rest the injured. In this case, it's John Bolton, and then it's to just kind of just be this week. Go play baseball, practice, workout, do all the things you need to do. But it's a non-pressure filled week. It's a bit of a week of decompression, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's what yesterday would have been for the baseball team after driving back. After the game on Saturday, they walked out to Memorial Gymnasium, showered, got on the bus, and then drove the 3 hours to Hoover. So, as always, Arkansas baseball was the first team to Hoover. And that means that they had all of Saturday night, because they would have gotten here probably like at 6 in the evening, 5:30 in the afternoon. They would have had all of Saturday night and then all of yesterday to do nothing. Nothing. And after 3 months of college baseball, 2 days to do nothing, where you don't have to worry about classes or studying or practicing or working out, or you got to be here at a certain time. You know what it's like.
Your
to be
body
a college
feels
athlete.
a lot better, Phil. You know, just doing that. Your mind too. Your mind gets to rest a little bit. Your energy kind of rebuilds a little bit. Your stamina comes back up. But yeah, your body it's a grind, and that's why I said they should be. They should. I mean, could have went 0-3 and could have lost the SEC championship. You know, so you were able to take care of business, and you still were able to accomplish your goal. And you know, post a sticker out there in the right field wall.
That's right. And the one win over Vanderbilt, I think, is the thing that no matter what really clinches the fact that you'll be a top 8. So that does take the pressure off for the rest of the week. There are other teams here in Hoover this week that maybe view the tournament as a chance to boost the resume. I still think if you haven't made your resume by now, there's not much you can do here. We saw that with Alabama last year. A&M, I'm looking at you right now after another series loss. A&M is 2 games under 500 in the league, so I don't know if they're going to make it, but they need wins to at least boost their resume and maybe have a case for the selection committee.
Is there anything in it, Phil? Sorry, is like in basketball, you know how a couple years ago it's just you bring A&M up, but 2 years ago when the SEC tournament they made it to the championship game and lost and still didn't get invited. And this is basketball, but if they would have won, they would have got invited to the tournament. If they win the SEC tournament, do they make a regional?
Yeah, you get an automatic.
Okay.
But I think it's tougher to go. Look, I mean, the basketball tournament, you got to win 4 games in 4 days. The baseball tournament starts Tuesday, so then you got to win Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, if you do that, you get to Friday. That's a 4th game. Then the 5th game on the Sunday. If you manage to lose one of the double elimination games, add another game onto that. That's 6. It's really difficult to do. You don't see a lot of teams that don't have like that real postseason juice that make it to the tournament by winning the SEC tournament. I just don't. It didn't happen with Alabama last year, and I don't see it happening with anybody else this year. Even if A&M were to win like 3 games, I think I'm not sure if their resume is enough because they weren't all that great in the in the preseason before conference season began. But for like Arkansas, for LSU, for Florida, and probably Vanderbilt after beating the Razorbacks 2 out of 3. I think those are I would not be surprised if half of the top 8 national seeds come out of this league. And if you win a division in this league, you're going to be a top 8 national seed. I don't have to do the research on it, but I would expect that if you go back a long time, the division champions in this league are always national seeds. So the Hogs get one, and that turns this week into, you know, I mean, a lot of people view Hoover as a nightmare. You know, I mean, they think of, they'll point to Arkansas winning the 2021 SEC tournament and say, well, look, they didn't make it to Omaha, and that's the reason why. They should have gone 0-2 and just gone home and kick up and everything, forgetting to relate the idea that that team went 5 games in the regional, and that, to me, was more than anything. And then they ran into a hot North Carolina State team. It's very coincidental kind of stuff. The Brady Slavens injury that year happened here in Hoover, slipping on first base. I mean, what are you going to do? Rest the guys who? This isn't a team necessarily that has the ability to rest their starters. Nor would you want to rest a guy like a Brady Slavens who's hitting 10 straight games, or a Peyton Holt who's turned into a star right now at second base. I just think this means there's no pressure on you. Go out and play baseball, have some fun, and then we'll find out where it all shakes out on Monday in the selection show.
Who did we draw on in the SEC tournament?
So Arkansas will play either A&M or Tennessee in the first round.
Uh-oh. I mean, Tennessee's tough, yeah.
The first round is tomorrow. That's the single elimination round, which starts with Georgia and South Carolina at 9:30, A&M and Tennessee after that. And the Hogs would play the winner of the Aggies and the Volunteers the next day at around the same time. You know, that's one of the things I don't like, is that we're the second game of the morning session on on Wednesday, which means we don't have a definitive start time. The first game starts 9:30, so, you know, I'm guessing about 12:30 with the pitch timer and run rule. 3-hour games are no longer a given. 2.5-hour games aren't even a given. So we're going to start the broadcast Wednesday at noon and push halftime back from 9 to 3. So we'll have all the normal programming. But the thing is, Matt, is Arkansas went 6-0 against those two teams. They went 6-0 against A&M and Tennessee combined. Is that going to have much to do with what happens on Wednesday? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it's, you put the regular season behind you. It was the long journey, and you came out on top. You tied, but you still came out on top, and you got to hold your head high. And but that kind of puts a target on your back. Everybody knows that Arkansas baseball is the best, and so they're going to be bringing their A game every time they go against you. And I think that's one thing Coach Musselman and that team struggled at as far as going back to basketball a little bit. The team that was out there this year wasn't necessarily the team that he had the last 2 years making the Elite Eight appearances, but you still have that target on your back, and that's what's going to happen. That happened with the Hogs. They want to go up. When they play the Hogs, teams want to say, man, we beat the Arkansas Razorbacks. That's the number 4 team in the country, SEC champs.
And a team that is going to be there by the end of the season, as one of the top teams in the league. And going back to 2017, Arkansas has more conference wins than anybody else in this league. And so they've had to remake the team how many times since then? That's 6 different years, six SEC seasons, not counting 2020, of course. Yeah, there have been a whole bunch of different versions of Arkansas baseball that have just found ways to win a lot of ball games and get to Omaha. And, yeah, what this week means to me is it's limbo week. It's the week between the regular season and the postseason. So it's just kind of like, I like Hoover. I enjoy it. It's great baseball. I love the fact that I'll get back to the orange soda and ice cream sandwiches very soon. Might find a way to slip in there later today and get one when I go pick up the credentials, even though there's no games. But I'm just like anybody else. I'm waiting with bated breath for the regionals, and even just to find out who's going to be seated at Arkansas for next Friday's opener at Ball Walker. But we do have to wait. That makes this a much different sort of week than any other week. This Monday halftime is just like any other Monday halftime, though. Connor O'Gara joins us in hour number 3. Some really crazy developments reading about across college football right now with the Big Ten television deal apparently not even signed. It's not even really fully signed yet, and NBC is a bit ticked off about the idea that they may not get some of the teams for primetime November games that they thought they would get. And then you got another Big Ten president popping off about more realignment coming over the next year or so. So that's some crazy stuff going on in college football. And here we are over in the SEC like, yep, everything's just fine over here right now. We're just figuring out whether or not we're going to play 8 or 9 games.
Well, NBC, I did see that what Notre Dame's gone in 2024. That's their last year of their deal. So that was kind of their main draw. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to be done.
It's like we said, 2024 is the new era of
it's the Mayan
football.
Calendar, yeah.
Yes, it is. It is the end of the Mayan calendar and the beginning of whatever is after that. Arkansas softball, unfortunately, was knocked out in the Fayetteville Regional by Oregon. That was tough to see, especially getting run-ruled the last game. Darian Ford has chosen where he's going to take his talents for college basketball, and there's a lot more to get to, including, some NBA conference finals that
underwhelming,
really aren't very competitive.
Yeah, not even whelming.
You're not even a little bit whelmed, are you?
Man, it's we'll get into it, but it's what do you say when you're down 0-3? When you're down 3-0, they look like there's no fight. The Boston looked like they weren't even fighting yesterday. It was weird to see a Boston Celtic team not even like they were just kind of going through the motions, like all right, whatever. It was weird.
It's amazing to think about that in the NBA playoffs. Plus calls and texts, and Mike Irwin in just a moment. While I'm here in Hoover at SEC Tournament Week, on the road for you in Hoover, the Morning Rush, halftime, Ruskin and Zach have all the coverage of the Razorbacks in the SEC Tournament, presented by Resort TV Cable in Hot Springs, Beckert and Van Buren, and the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, with over $1.2 billion in scholarships raised for Arkansas students. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation will join halftime right after this.
Do you need free legal advice. Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hall on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Some judges pretty much don't let the parents even introduce their own evidence. It's just about questioning the witness of the department because the only thing they're looking for is whether probable cause existed to sign that emergency order. Parents feel so deflated after these hearings usually, and it's really hard to explain that this is just the nature of the hearing. It's not the full hearing on the merits.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
It's Old Fort Days Rodeo time, and Jelco Outdoors, your locally owned work in Western boot store, is ready to help you go in style with a new pair of cowboy boots for men, women, and children. Brands like Justin, Tony Lama, Corral, R. Watson, Durango, Ariat, Twisted X, Rocky, and Nakona. Blue jeans by Ariat and Wrangler. And stop by the Jelco booth starting Memorial Day, just outside the Old Fort Days Rodeo at Harper Stadium. Let's get ready to rodeo at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Right now, Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford is having a huge tire sale. Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, all the major brands with the lowest price guarantee. Brakes, wheel alignment, oil change and maintenance, air conditioning, batteries, alternator, and so much more. At Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, we service all makes and models, and you never need an appointment. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, where we meet or beat any advertised price. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or online 24/7 at randallford.com.
Summer is finally here, and with it comes the heat. Don't get caught off guard with a broken AC unit. Upgrade now with Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric to ensure a comfortable and cool summer. Get a new AC system before May 31st, and you'll receive a free duct cleaning or indoor air quality upgrade. That's right, free. That's a value of over $1,000.
Thank you for choosing Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. We'll take care of everything so you can enjoy a worry-free summer.
Upgrade your AC today and get a free duct cleaning or indoor air quality upgrade. Offer ends May 31st. Schedule now at gopaschal.com.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted Best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running Best of the Best Independent Body Shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
When a hailstorm comes to the River Valley, homeowners have doubts on what roofing company to deal with. That's why it's better to contact the experts that are local. That company is Construction Masters Roofing, a locally owned company that's ready to change the roof on your home. Construction Masters Roofing is insured and local, specializing in hail claims and replacing windows, siding, and gutters. Construction Masters Roofing, located at 225 North Greenwood Avenue in Fort Smith. Call for a free estimate, 479-648-8888 or 918-859-4724.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Sully!
When I get off of this mountain, you know where I wanna go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. Lake Charles, Louisiana, little Bessie girl I once knew. And she told me just to come on by if there's anything that she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak, and she defends me a drunker stream if I ever did see one.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate Mike Irwin's time when he hands it over to us here on these Monday mornings on Halftime. Good morning, Mike. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm in Hoover. It's a restful restful couple of days. What does Hoover mean to this baseball team this year?
Well, a lot of people are saying, hey, you don't have to win a game. It doesn't matter. I think Dave Van Horn pretty much said it in his post-game press conference after Game 3 of Vandy. He said, we're going to try to win every game, but we're going to have to do some things, to help us once regional play starts. And I think that starts, he said, at the plate. Got to get Diggs and Borfin going. Also, you need Wagner. He almost hit a home run in Game 3. He's starting to get back into it a little bit, but I guess they're probably going to limit what he does in BP and just bat him in games, trying to, as he continues to heal. He said that fracture is not as sore as it was with a healed fracture. So there's some things, and then he likes Holt, what Holt is doing, and said he actually may move him up to the 3-hole, to try and shake up the lineup a little bit. And he also talked about McLaughlin. He said, I may end up pulling somebody in a game based on matchups and inserting him in a specific game, just to see how that works out. So all of that's done to kind of get yourself going, at the plate, mainly for a regional, and then pitching. I think you're going to see him pitch his starters very little. I wouldn't be surprised if, Hagan Smith just went a couple of 3 innings. Hunter Holland may not pitch at all, depending. Taggart might only go a couple of innings. He's talking about using a lot of guys. He said, we got to get Christian Fouch some work. He said, he's got good stuff. We just got to get him confident. And then you got to figure out what's going on with Gage Wood. I mean, that was the big shocker. So, and he didn't just do it once. He struggled twice. His velocity was down, and his location was bad compared to he'd been solid for a month. So you got to get him going again. And Parker Coyle had closed out a couple of games. He obviously gave up that 3-run homer, which was the cost him the game. It wasn't just his fault, but he's the one that gave up they had the lead, and he gave up the lead, and Arkansas loses that game in the 8th, really. And then Bybee, he wants him back on the mound some. So I think you're going to play some people to see if he can get them going, and if that causes them to lose some games, so be it.
I think the hitters in a lot of cases will take care of themselves, and just by being in the lineup, they'll hopefully be able to get that timing back. Thinking of Wagner, Borfin didn't have a great weekend against Vanderbilt, and when he's on, this team is really difficult to beat. I think the most important aspect is to get some of the freshman pitchers where they were maybe about a month ago. Because your veterans now, look, having Will McIntyre pitch twice in a weekend in Nashville and looking great both games, I think that's huge for the future. Because Arkansas didn't have a pitcher that they trusted twice in a weekend after Dylan Carter's injury. Zach Morris looking great the last few times out. These are 2 veterans that know what it's like to pitch in the pressure of a super regional and then to pitch in Omaha. But it's guys like Gage Wood, Ben Bybee, and a Christian Fouch and Parker Coyle, kids that have made – it's not that they've had these dominant freshman seasons or anything, but they've contributed in moments, in very big moments. And they're going to need to contribute in some big moments if a regional goes to a 4th game. Heck, if a regional goes to a 3rd game, they might have to contribute. I think getting those freshman pitchers right and helping them reestablish their confidence probably is the biggest aspect of this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also think, you mentioned Zach Morris and you mentioned McIntyre. This explains the decision that has been so controversial with some. Why do you pull Zach Morris when he was pitching so well? Because he's a 3-inning guy, and he'd gone 3 innings. He hadn't given up a hit. You want to risk that when you got a 6-run lead? nobody could have predicted what would happen after that. And the same thing, in Game 3 with McIntyre. Okay, he's up to 80-plus pitches. You're thinking about using him twice in games now in the postseason. He's shown he can do that. Where are you going to risk that by pitching him more, having him go 100 pitches? So I think it explains those two decisions. The thing that's interesting to me is to read on social media the difference between some people who understand that, hey, sharing a conference title is okay. It's not a bad thing. Maybe you'd rather win it outright, but do you risk some things to do that? And DVH said in that Game 3, that's what his decision was. Once he knew that they had a share of that title wrapped up, that affected his decision about what to do with McIntyre, which to me is totally explainable.
I think so too. I think so too, because I think Dave is well aware that if you win a division, you're a top 8. And that's what it's all about. It is being a top 8 and ensuring that first you got to get to a regional, right? Then if you feel confident that you're in a regional, all right, let's do what we can to host a regional. And then you want to be able to make sure that you're playing all your games at home. I think Dave is well aware. And I think if you go back and look at I haven't done the research on this, but I'm just going off of a feeling and the 9 years that I've been doing these games. If you win a division in the Southeastern Conference, you're a top 8 national seed, and that's what the regular season is about being positioned to be a top 8, and they knew that they were going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I'm trying to figure out this. I'm not one that reads these brackets very well when you get a double elimination. I just know that Wednesday they're going to play the winner of Tennessee A&M, and Tennessee looked like they were going to come into the SEC tournament on a complete roll. They swept Vandy, they swept Mississippi State, and then, whoops, lost 2 or 3 to Georgia. But I got to believe that would be a tough matchup for Arkansas. Tennessee would be highly motivated if that's their Wednesday opponent. If they win that game, it looks like to me they go to the semis on Friday, and maybe you play LSU, but if they lose, I don't know what the heck happens.
Mike, I saw where Darian Ford's going to be in Arkansas State. I kind of think of them as Indians, but they're Red Wolves, right? I don't know what. I think they got a great kid, Mike. I think Darian Ford is going to be a starter there and be great for them. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's good. I think most Razorback fans would wish him well and hope he plays well. That whole Arkansas State thing has kind of gone away from what it was years ago. It used to be like you're mad at them and everything. I don't know why, but I think when Yurachek came along and he said we're going to play some of these teams in other sports, and now it looks like football's coming up. You're going to play them in football. I don't see it being the big thing that it used to be. So I don't see anyone looking at that and going, "Why'd you go there?" You know. Just it is what it is. He stayed in state.
Well, he stayed in state, but I mean, when I saw him wearing that Vanderbilt jersey,
I thought he was a Vandy. I really did. Yeah,
I kind of expected that was going to be the case.
I think he starts at Arkansas State, Phil. I think wherever he went, I think that's one of those deals where he's going to go in a college off season. We talk about getting high school kids from college kids. He was in the Coach Musselman program. Man, he played a little bit. I think it's a good fit for him.
Mike, what do you think about what's left on the roster here? Are we going to see Jordan Walsh or Devo Davis? It sounded like Walsh had a pretty good combine, so if that's the case, he might stay in that draft, and we'll have to know by the end of the 31st of May. So they've got about a week and a half to make their decisions if they're taking their names out. And if I'm Devo, man, I mean, it's like you're either going to play at Arkansas or you're going to play overseas.
I think Walsh is gone. I mean, I'm not even thinking about that. I just think the guy's gone. Devo, I don't know. It's very confusing. You know, he went on the radio and he didn't really say much, and so that leads people to believe maybe it's not decided, maybe it's not. You know, you still got this Holland thing hanging out there. When's that going to happen? And everybody's got kind of holding their breath on that. And then are they still going to bring somebody else in? Is there some other big guy out there that they think they can get, or are they set after that? If Devo comes back, you think it's just a Holland thing after that. But you know, this has been going on for so long. It's almost like, you know, you're waiting. Hurry up and wait.
I actually think that Devo coming back is a necessity for this Arkansas Razorback team to win a national title. I think he is Mr. Razorback. I think the way he plays defense, the way everybody's going to be coming in, not really sure about what to expect with a Coach Musselman season, and you have to have that leader. You have to have that upperclassman when you're coming in to be able to look to and lead to, and I think that's what Devo is. I think as far as his professional skill set goes, I think he's going to make a lot of money playing professional basketball. It just won't be in the NBA, and that's okay.
Sure, there's plenty of guys that do that for a number of years and do just fine. I mean,
but he's an All-American defensive player, and he's a guy that does things the right way. He can lead by example, and the other kids can see he can guard the other team's best player. You don't have to ask him to score as much this next year with the other guys coming in. I think it'd be a big miss if he doesn't come back.
But again, you can assume that he probably is, but there's been nothing to really indicate what he's going to do.
Right.
It's just, you don't know. If you had some reason, if he'd said something, if there was some little thing to make you believe, yeah, this is where he's leaning. The only thing to me that kind of shows that he might be back is the fact that he wasn't at the combine, but that doesn't mean anything either. He could still decide, like you say, to go play somewhere else, pro ball somewhere else. So we'll see, but I kind of think he's coming back. I would be surprised if he doesn't. And if that's the case, then if they get who they want to get, and I don't know if you call it the transfer portal when somebody hasn't played somewhere else, but if they get the one guy they still want, then nobody else leaves, right?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
I do have faith that Coach Muss is going to construct a team, that's going to be able to compete. I'm kind of like you, Mike. I'm still kind of just waiting and seeing. We're kind of seeing who is Walsh going to come back? Is Holland going to be here? We still don't know.
Yeah.
Mike,
I don't know.
I wanted to ask you about softball. Unfortunately, was knocked out of the regional this last weekend, a home regional. Baseball still, I think, is the only team left that's still competing. Oh, golf is competing. That's right. They've advanced past their regional. A lot of the teams we talk about, though, this year, football, men's basketball, women's basketball, softball. Hopefully, baseball doesn't follow this same path. Nobody quite had the same level of success the year before. You remember the previous athletic calendar. It was all, hey, look at the kind of year we've had. Nobody's having a year like this across the SEC. Football won 9, Elite 8 for men's basketball. Women's basketball went to the NCAA tournament. You had baseball in Omaha. Softball finished 1 win short of the College World Series. Well, this year it's like they didn't quite get to that level this year. You played in the Liberty Bowl 6-6, not 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet 16 men's basketball, women's basketball, NIT, softball out in a regional. And I hope baseball doesn't follow that path, but you see what's happened in these last, it's been like 10 months.
Yeah, it's kind of, except for track, which they always win, we do not, whether it's true or not. John McDonald used to tell me it's a team sport. I would tell him it's a team sport the way the NCAA constructs it, but it's still a bunch of individuals in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're talking team sports, I guess the pressure's on baseball now. It's riding on their shoulders. And I will say this, once that regional starts, we have no idea who will be there, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Missouri State will be there. I don't know why, I just have that feeling. And then I don't know who else. Maybe OU comes over. I'm not sure. But that's going to be pressure. I mean, we saw last year this team has always proven it can win the NCAA tournament in baseball on the road. Sometimes there's more pressure at home, but if you look at their gaudy record at home this year, you'd have to feel good about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and I think that's one huge reason for getting these games at home is a big thing. Mike, we'll leave it there, and we'll revisit it all next week, okay? Thanks for your time.
Yeah, I hope we'll know some stuff on basketball in a week.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have, because it's been a weird, I've called the SEC tournament, guys. This is not regular season. It's not postseason. It's limbo season. It's kind of in between. May for the basketball thing has also felt the same way because of the 2.5 week buffer between when everybody enters, when the last day to enter the transfer portal, and then when the last day to pull yourself out of the NBA draft. And it just feels like, especially with this Ron Holland thing, we're just in this crazy, weird limbo season. All right, we'll open up the phone lines for the next segment. 877-377-6963. Time for calls and texts next on Halftime.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Now listen up. I only have 30 seconds to tell you all about my first Netflix show, FUBAR, before this ad self-destructs. I play a spy who on his last day on the job discovers that, surprise, his daughter is also a spy. Can you imagine that? Together, we both go commando to terminate a very bad guy. I remember the date now. May 25th, FUBAR is going to blow up on Netflix. This Netflix ad has been terminated.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
There is nothing like football game days on the Hill. Coach Sam Pittman and the Hogs take Frank Broyles Field at Razorback Stadium for the 2023 football season this September.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call the Hogs with your entire family and secure season tickets today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or over the phone at 800-982-HOGS.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Happy times are almost here for Booneville. That amazing fast internet from Wave Rural Connect is coming soon. Arkansas Valley Electric members on feeders 1, 3, 5, and 8 will be available to sign up May 8th. These are internet speeds normally reserved for big cities, but available in the Booneville area, along with TV and phone service from a local provider. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When it comes to siding and windows, the name says it all at Superior Siding and Windows. But did you know they do carports and patio covers? For over 40 years, Superior Siding and Windows has provided vinyl window replacements and all your siding solutions, including carports, patio covers, and now metal roofs. So if you have hail damage, be sure to give Superior Siding a call at 646-7888 for a free in-home estimate. Superior Siding and Windows. Like them on Facebook or visit them at superiorsidingfs.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
takes me to you. I'm so nervous I just sit and smile. Your house is only another mile. Thank you, driver, for getting me here. You'll be an inspector, have no fear. I don't want to cause no fuss, but can I buy your magic bus?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Thank Beckert and Van Buren for sponsoring our coverage of the SEC tournament. They're hiring right now for junior electrical project engineers and electrical engineer positions. Great pay, great benefits. You can apply in person at Beckert in Van Buren, located at exit 3 off I-40. 877-377-6963 is our phone number on Halftime. Mouth. We don't call him by his name anymore. We could call him Corey Feldman, right? Can we go in that direction?
No.
Goonies? Nah, Mouth in Stuttgart. You're on Halftime. What's up?
Yes, sir, Phil. I have some comments about this past week about a Razorback baseball team. What a season. Let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. I got a little disgruntled with some Twitter people that said it was a bad way to end the season. Oh, I don't think so. It's never bad to end as a champion, correct?
Well, I would agree with you on that. I don't like, nobody likes losing games. Nobody likes going into or ending the regular season with back-to-back losses, especially that Friday loss. That's a tough one to put a cherry on top of, because 8-2 in the eighth inning should not be 10-8 opponent. But I agree with you. Like I'm much more interested in the fact that the Razorbacks are conference champions, even if it's a share of it with Florida, than in the two losses at Vanderbilt and being a naysayer and saying that the sky is falling because of it.
And then another comment I had, Tim Corbin, give it up. You begging to host a regional. The chances of you making it to jumping up 4 spots are, I don't think you may end up hosting a regional, but you're going to have to go somewhere.
No, I think they're going to – my guess, Mal, is they're going to be a top 8. They have their RPI is 8. They have 19 conference wins. Arkansas has been seeded in the top 8 with 19 conference wins before. I think that Vanderbilt's Saturday win might be the thing that gets them there. I think Vandy, I would not be surprised at all if they're a top 8. I'm going to guarantee you that they are hosting a regional. But I think they'll also be a top 8.
And one last comment I had on this game last weekend. What is the guy's last name that did the color for the play-by? Chris, he does a good job.
Chris Burke, former Tennessee Volunteer, played for the Astros in the majors.
Right, Chris Burke does a fabulous job. I love him he and Ben McDonald and Kyle Peterson are my favorite, and they're but Chris Burke, just refer to Enrique Brumfield Jr. as Enrique Brumfield Jr. Don't refer to him as EBJ. I mean, there's only one person that can be referred to in three initials.
He called him EBJ. That's funny.
Yes, EBJ. Come on, Enrique. You weigh 150 pounds, and all you can do is run.
Hey,
okay?
No, he can do more than run. He can hit.
I know.
Maybe he saves his best for the Hogs because he's played incredibly against them 2 years in a row.
Well, he was good. Bless his heart. He was good. Even though
that catch he made robbing Diggs at the center field fence on Friday night, I think that's the best catch I've seen this year.
Oh yeah, no question. All right, have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mouth. It's good to hear from you. 877-377-6963. Sounded like the Twitterati got Mouth annoyed a little bit. I've stopped looking at the comments I have, and I looked a little bit on Friday, and it was more. Look, people get frustrated, and I understand. There's not a game they should have lost. I had no problem whatsoever with Zach Morris being taken out and Gage Wood being put in. That was the position Wood's been in for the last month. Zach Morris had not pitched more than 3 innings for a while, so I think that was just fine. Dave was doing exactly what the script said. And I'd seen some people, talk about wanting to bring Hunter Holland back on Friday for closing the game. He threw 113 pitches on Sunday. You're not pitching him on Friday, no matter the situation at all. Ryan in Hot Springs, you're next on Halftime. What's up, Ryan? Thanks for the call.
Hey, buddy. I'm glad old Gage had that performance he had when he had it, because you know what? He can look at the tape on that. He can digest it. That's his worst performance. So you know what? He can learn from it. And really, that's a good time to learn from it. It's a loss that doesn't hurt you. Do I want to lose that way? No, but it's at a time whenever he can learn from it. And all these fans down about this and that, but we got exactly everything we needed this weekend. We secured the West. We secured a regional and a super, is my understanding, and you ain't got to worry about that dreaded number 1 in the country that they were talking about we possibly getting before going into that series. So, I'm excited about it, to be honest with you. I think this is probably the best outcome we could have asked for, really. That's my thoughts. I hope you'll have a great day and go Hogs.
Thanks, Ryan. It's good to hear from you. Yeah, I would have liked to be outright champions, not sharing it. And depending on what happened with Wake Forest, they might have been number 1, and I see where he's going there. So Arkansas still is a league champion, will be a top 8, is not the number 1 seed. I get it. Yeah, all works out. And for Wood, confidence is a funny thing. Some pitchers are really good about just putting a bad performance behind them. It's not that Gage got knocked around this last week. It was more of some fluky stuff that I think might have gotten into the back of his head a little bit. They will need him. They will need him moving forward. Just in my interaction with Gage and the fact that I've already seen him put 1 or 2 really bad games behind him, I'd be surprised if his confidence is shaken all that much.
And like you said, baseball is humbling. You got to be mentally tough to be good at baseball, and I think that's one thing they take from their coach, from Coach Van Horn, that this team is mentally tough.
Especially relief pitchers, man, because relief pitchers sometimes don't get the chance like batters do to throw the next day or the day after that and get past it.
It's like shooting a technical free throw almost when you're a relief pitcher. There's nobody up there. It's just kind of you. You got to go up there. We know what you're doing, especially in the 9th inning or so. You got to get that out. You just got to get up there and shoot that free throw.
Let's break, guys. We'll wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime after this.
I got to be your friend now, baby.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Advanced Mechanical Performance, your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
As I'm sure you know, over the weekend, Jim Brown passed away. Legendary running back, maybe the greatest football player of all time. Died at age 87 in Los Angeles. I still remember when Walter Payton passed him, and it stunned so many sports fans that Brown's rushing record could be surpassed. He is still 11th all time. You can't just imagine all that many running backs able to do what he was able to do in a time where guys were getting hit just as hard, but they weren't wearing the same kind of padding. You didn't have the same kind of helmets, and yet he never missed a game in his NFL career. Stunning. Guy was a star lacrosse player at Syracuse as well, where he starred for the Orange. And of course, he was, man. When you retire after winning an MVP award at the age of 29, and you still were the leading rusher in the sport's history for gosh, it was another 20 years until a little more than 20 years before Peyton broke his record. And the story of his life is truly amazing. You know, getting all of those great athletes together in 1967, I think it was, in Cleveland to talk with Muhammad Ali, and it's an unparalleled life and an unparalleled career. And I remember seeing, I think the first movie, because he quit to be an actor, and I remember seeing him in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. I don't know who he was at that point, but there were plenty of other movies that he made. But
I thought he was Shaft at first. When I heard he was acting, I was like, oh, that must be Jim Brown. Yeah, great running back. He's another guy that would be better in today's time if he had all today's technology and today's training. Would he be a little Colin Kaepernick-ish, do you think? Was he standing? Was he kind of was there a little bit of something that he was fighting for, not just football? If it
Absolutely.
was, I just don't remember him. Yeah,
he was outspoken, very outspoken, and look, in the 1960s, which was, the era of fighting for civil rights, athletes kind of spoke up a little bit at that time and felt that they might have been risking something. I think he did feel like he risked some things to speak up. And then the other aspect too, Matt, he ran for over 1,863 yards in 14 games in 1963.
Nobody wanted to tackle him.
Well, do you realize how many of those defenders knew that the ball was going right to him anyway and still couldn't bring him down?
Yeah, that's back when quarterbacks were throwing for 78 yards a game. Exactly.
You could legit still say that Jim Brown was the greatest football player of all time. And there'd be a lot of people that wouldn't be able to come for an argument with you. Second hour of halftime coming after this.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile Service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, upper 70s to low 80s. We're looking at partly cloudy skies and mid to upper 50s tonight. Sunny skies on Tuesday, a slight chance of a shower or storm across the north. Our high temperatures into the low 80s. Wednesday, showers, a slight chance of showers or storms are high near 80. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew Ball! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2, halftime on a Monday. It is great to be with you. A cloudy, overcast day in Hoover, Alabama. Rain overnight. A little bit of rain, I think, tomorrow morning, but the rest of the week looks just fine. Thank goodness. We're not going to have the series of rainouts and postponements and games pushed to the next day and games that are played after. Well, who knows about the after midnight thing. The pitch timer, the run rule might have a little bit to do with that, but you can't do anything about extra innings. But because of the pitch timer, I guess I'd be a little surprised if any of these games end up going past midnight. But it is a little bit of the tradition of playing in Hoover, Alabama for this tournament. So is the bad weather. And so is just looking out here and seeing clouds, which just reminds me of last year. Lots of time for calls and texts over this hour. You do not have any guests. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime today. Had a great time in Nashville over the weekend. Stayed there after the game on Saturday. Little walking around. Walked by the site of the Music City Bowl. Where I know you played there in the bowl game there, right, Matt, at Nissan Stadium?
Man, that was a fun trip. The hotel we stayed at there was pretty cool.
The city is exploding. I mean, I've been to Nashville a lot for Arkansas athletics. I don't know if I've ever seen this much construction. And, I mean, just think of the things that are going on in that town for sports now. They've got a hockey team. It's a hockey town. They've got. I was just thinking of my perspective. There was a time where Vanderbilt athletics was the biggest thing in sports going on in Nashville, where Vanderbilt football was the biggest thing that could happen on a weekend in Nashville. That was before the Titans arrived, and that wasn't all that long ago. What was their first year in Nashville? 2000, 2001, one of those 2 years? And now they're at a point where they've got an NHL team. They're a good football town. They're about to be building a domed football stadium that will get Nashville to host the Super Bowl, the College Football Playoff Championship, whatever other events that'll go in there, Final Fours, all that kind of stuff. And when you see all the construction going around in Nashville and the people that are moving there, Major League Baseball is looking for cities to expand. I'm starting to believe Nashville may be a place that Major League Baseball expands. And then Nashville will have gone from having no Major League teams at about 1998 to having 3, including getting the Super Bowl. I mean, we're seeing this pop up in a lot of other cities. Vegas is supposed to get the Athletics. That'll be their 3rd team. And they've built a stadium that'll host Super Bowls and national championship games and all of that. I think Nashville is the next step, is probably the next step for something like that. So we're Tampa Bay maybe losing. Well, I don't know if it's a matter of losing their team, but the team might get sold and potentially moved. Maybe they end up moving to Nashville. I don't know. Be an interesting place to go visit for a big league baseball game. SEC tournament. What do you want out of the tournament? Does Peyton Holt move up the batting order? Dave Van Horn said that he might hit as a 3-hole hitter. I just think that'd make a lot of sense. Holt is 7 for 11 over the games in Nashville with a home run, 6 RBIs, and it's like Dave, he's hitting like a 3-hole hitter. Maybe there will be some changes to how the lineup is constructed. Got a text from Jason in Fayetteville that wants to see Ben McLaughlin put in the lineup on an everyday basis because he hit so well while he was in the lineup filling in for the couple of injured guys. What you're going to see, and Jason, I know you're hard fast in your opinion, Ben McLaughlin is not going to start. He's not going to start. He's going to become a super pinch hitter, and that's kind of the role that Dave had him in last weekend. That's why he came up to pinch hit in the 8th inning with Arkansas down a run and the tying run at first base. He worked a walk, but he doesn't run very well right now because of that meniscus surgery. He can hit, and then he can kind of jog around the bases, but he doesn't have a position to play. So then my question would be, when you put him in the lineup, who are you going to take out? We're all prisoners of the moment. We're all prisoners of what happened just in the last few games. You don't take Jared Wagner out of the lineup. Wagner has been this team's best all-around player when he's healthy, and he's healthy again. And he deserves the chance to get his timing back and be what he was before, which was the best player on the team. You're not taking Tavian Josenberger out of the lineup because he's a great center fielder. He's your best center fielder. And he still found ways to get on base. He had 1 hit in the series in Nashville, but he got 5 walks. And he's walking a lot these days. And he has earned the right to try to get his timing back here in Hoover as well. Are you going to pull Kendall Diggs out of the lineup? Diggs had a hit in every game in the Vanderbilt series, leads the team in runs batted in. Are you going to take Caleb Cali out of the lineup? Cali's done great at third base. He can play the position. McLaughlin's a good third baseman, but I think he needs to have a fully 100% performing knee in order to play that position. And right now, he's a pinch hitter. He's a pinch hitter. Who are you going to take out? Brady Slavens? He's the hottest hitter on the team right now. We all think we have, well, no, we don't all. Some think that they have, some kind of Band-Aid to what you think ails the team. And I'm here to tell you, there's nothing ailing the team. They're fine. They lost to a good Vanderbilt ball club. Ben McLaughlin is going to be what Charlie Welch was, and that is as a super pinch hitter. And it'll work just fine. I think he'll do great in that role. Next year, yeah, he'll have a chance to battle for third base. Battle for first base. By then, the knee will be fully healthy. He will be able to run the bases. He will be able to field the position properly. But when you want to put somebody in the line, you got to take somebody else out. And none of those guys that I mentioned deserves to have their starting role taken away from them. Charlie's on hold. Hey, Charlie, what's going on? You're on halftime.
Well, Phil, I love to give you a lot of credit for a lot of things, and so your prisoner of the moment point to fans is, I love it. I mean, I think, and I love a lot of things about you, Phil, but you not only say don't be a prisoner of the moment, but you give an exact reason why for every situation. And you know baseball from A to Z, so I'm with you. And I think, I don't understand it. Like, okay, so we lose a road series on the road to Vanderbilt. We still finished top first in the SEC. And SEC West, we're number 1, so record-wise. So, listen, this whole, this team has been unbelievable this year, and considering everything, and I'm excited. I don't mean to say this disrespectfully, but I don't really care what happens in the SEC tournament as long as everybody stays healthy, whether we win it or not. It's never the goal, I don't think, and you would probably. I'm not saying it's not the goal not to win, but, you don't go into the SEC tournament with all hands on deck, blah, 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 like you would the regular tournament, I guess, because, maybe you could explain that a little bit more. But, Matt, I wanted to ask you something, too. First off, let's talk about these 2 series that are going on. Boston is getting their what's kicked, and it's insane to me. I remember when Miami went up 2-0, and then I go and I look at the ESPN prediction thing. Boy, I should have bet on that. They said 35% chance now for the Heat to win the series. Then they go win in Game 3. Wonder what the percent chance is now.
Celtics were favored by like 9 or something going into that game, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane to me. I don't understand. When are these people going to start? The Heat are just eating this stuff up. When are they going to start giving these guys credit, man. I mean, they're just outplaying them. I mean, they're kicking their freaking butts. I mean, I don't understand it. And then the other series is tight. I think Denver's just been able to execute better down the stretch, and I think that's been the difference. They've made shots down the stretch. Sometimes it's make or miss, and every game's been close. Also, Matt, before I go, I wanted to ask you, if you were calling plays, like say you're offensive coordinator today, would you be like a spread guy, or would you want to be more multiple like Coach Eno says? What would be kind of your philosophy if you were a play caller? Anyways, guys, I'll hang up and listen. Y'all have a good one.
Well, my pops being a coach, and one thing you have to do is you have to adjust and adapt to the talent you have. You have to have an identity. One thing Coach Nutt always used to say is, man, you have to have 3 or 4 plays you can go to at any time you want to go to. But yeah, I like what Coach Enos does. There's a lot. The thing is, it's a misconception is that there's all these different plays and only certain people are running certain plays out of the playbooks. It's football. They're all running the same plays. It's just how do you get there? How do you scheme it up? What's your motion you're using? How much talent do you have? What are they thinking? What is your scouting report on you as well that they have? So, man, it's tough to be an OC. So you got to tip your hat to those OCs out there.
As far as the NBA playoffs, Matt, like I haven't watched any of it, but I always assume that conference semifinals, championship series in the National League and the American League, that these are going to be good series, good games, well played, tight. But maybe in some cases, some teams, quote unquote, blow that load just getting there. Is that what happened with? I couldn't imagine that's what happened with Boston, but with the Lakers are facing a better team. With Boston, I don't get this. I don't get this at all. The Heat have just gotten incredibly hot, but didn't they lose their first play-in round game? I mean, they were that close to elimination, and now they're a win away from the finals.
Yeah, I think Atlanta beat them. It doesn't make any sense with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. The only thing I can see is it just looks like they've kind of given up. Now Miami can play some defense, but they're not out there going with the same pace. Miami's bringing a different pace than Boston's not bringing. And you don't expect that when I talk about, man, these playoffs get intense. They really do. The Eastern Conference Finals should be intense, but it's like one team showed up to play because theirs goes up to 11, and the other one's just kind of like, hey, man, we should probably win. We have the best players. I mean, they got a guy that's a second-round pick from UC Santa Barbara, that Vincent guy that, you haven't heard. I'm watching Miami play. I'm like, where are these guys from? If it wasn't for Coach Muss and the kid from Nevada, you wouldn't know who Caleb Martin is. And so they're kind of doing it with not necessarily first and with the top 10 picks, and they got a plan. And I saw this stat where Pat Riley's been in like over a quarter of the NBA Finals as either a player or a coach. That's and wild. A GM. Just the talent he's had.
That's amazing. Yeah, he took he took the Knicks to the finals one year, right? I'm pretty sure Riley took them to the finals at least once, and won a couple of championships as the executive vice president of the Heat, and now almost getting there again. It's almost an unparalleled career. A little bit of a Jerry West, but I don't remember West ever coaching. And as far as what Charlie said about, people in the prison being a prisoner of the moment, I get it too. We as fans, I think sometimes, it's almost impossible sometimes to not go by what you just saw. I'm not trying to have antagonistic relationships with listeners or fans or anything like that, but when you're closer to the team and around the coaches and around the players, you kind of sense and talk to them about their reasoning for why this is being done, for why that is being done. And, I think Jason wants to argue over the text line about the merits of Ben McLaughlin being a starting designated hitter and taking somebody out of the lineup. And, I mean, a valid point is that he's hit every game that he's played since he's been back. But I'm here to tell you, you'll ask a question, why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? And I'll have the answer in some cases. The answer that's been from being around them, from talking with the coaches about those very things. And man, I've decided to stop looking at the comments because everybody can be, hindsight is real 20/20 and everything, and everyone's a great manager and a head coach the day after the decisions are made. Like the whole, going with Gage Wood instead of leaving Zach Morrison or some ridiculous idea to throw Hunter Holland in the 8th inning on Friday. There is a fact here that just because a decision didn't work out doesn't mean it wasn't the right decision. There are other people wearing other uniforms that are trying to do things against your team, and these decisions are not made in a vacuum. These coaches are highly paid for very good reason. They know what they're doing.
And I think when you look back on it, after you kind of get a little removed from it, you can kind of take a little bit of that emotion out and realize what you accomplished, that it's pretty cool that you're SEC West champs and you're co-champs. It's all right, and you had chances, but you can't sit back and look at the season because every team had chances. You could have done this, and that's why you're always trying to play that perfect game. You're always trying to look at, hey, what can I do to improve? What can I do to get better? You're never done. It's always evolving.
It's also not like you've lost a bunch of games in a row or a bunch of series going into the postseason, which was the case last year. Oh man, going into Hoover last year, it was like there was a giant hole in the boat and you had nothing to bail the water out with and everything, and they were in Omaha anyway. So a little perspective usually helps. It also helps to get a hold of Resort TV Cable in Hot Springs. You can switch to Cable Links broadband and boost your internet, plus give your wallet a break. Sign up before the end of May, and Cable Links will double your speeds with Cable Links. We appreciate Resort TV Cable in Hot Springs for helping sponsor our coverage of the SEC tournament here in Hoover. Calls and texts are available at 877-377-6963. Much more after the break.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Right now, Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford is having a huge tire sale. Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, all the major brands with the lowest price guarantee. Brakes, wheel alignment, oil change and maintenance, air conditioning, batteries, alternator, and so much more. At Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, we service all makes and models, and you never need an appointment. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, where we meet or beat any advertised price. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or online 24/7 at randallford.com.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Doctors Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
What does a food truck chef in LA,
order up,
a hip-hop producer from St. Louis,
check 1 2,
and the king of the pickup courts in Philly have in common? They share the same grit, resilience, and passion for what they do. Because the people who share the same spirit share the same beer. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Summer is finally here, and with it comes the heat. Don't get caught off guard with a broken AC unit. Upgrade now with Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric to ensure a comfortable and cool summer. Get a new AC system before May 31st, and you'll receive a free duct cleaning or indoor air quality upgrade. That's right, free. That's a value of over $1,000.
Thank you for choosing Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. We'll take care of everything so you can enjoy a worry-free summer.
Upgrade your AC today and get a free duct cleaning or indoor air quality upgrade. Offer ends May 31st. Schedule now at gopascal.com.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, Matt Jones, educate me on what happened at the PGA Championship this weekend.
Man, it was pretty cool. It really was. When we had Clay on Friday, and he's talking about the PGA Tour professionals, the guys that work and they play and they're good, and they're all over at all these courses, and you got to qualify and you get to go play. Same kind of with the U.S. Open. You know, you can qualify sectional and stuff, and the guy he's playing with Rory McIlroy. First of all, Michael Block, this guy, and he's the golf pro that I've been reading about, right? Yes. And Brooks Koepka's the live golfer that that wins it, and this is his fifth major. To get 5 majors is pretty cool. But so he's playing with Rory, and you're just like, first of all, just to play around with Rory, who's the top 10 player of the world, and will go down. He's a Galactico, Rory is, and so he's playing out there and. He's +1. He's hitting it around all right, and he gets to 15, and he just hits a 7-iron, and it dunks right in the hole, which was, pretty cool. It's like it probably won't happen again in our lifetime, something like that, man. It was on the final day of a major, and then on 18, which was the sickest part of the whole day, I thought. Because you're tired. It's a 4-day tournament, man. You're wore out. He didn't sleep good the night before. It's one of those deals where you've never really been in that spot before. Not that he's never played golf before. Obviously, he's played competitive golf before to be there.
With all those people, and on a Sunday on a major, right?
That's what I'm saying. So on 18, his approach to the green, he just throws one into the crowd. Just kind of he was trying to hit like a little 3-wood, 3 hybrid into some deep stuff, and he's trying to cut it up there, and it just goes all into the crowd and. The grass is all matted down because that's where the crowd is. They move him out of the way. So he has to go up there. He's short-sighted, has to flop something up, land it in the fringe, have it trickle on, still leaves himself about a 13-footer downhill, sliding a little bit to the right. Walks up there and makes it to get a par. One of the best up and downs you'll see all week. To get a par, finish +1, tied for 15th. Automatic invitation exemption to next year's PGA Championship. How cool is that? Made $288,000 out there too.
Well, and then make yourself immediately money just by making next year's tournament too.
Oh, talk of the town.
That's super cool. Well, good for him. And now, so the live golfers did very well at the Masters. Koepka wins the PGA championship, and that's just a weird optic, isn't it? Like I kind of wondered, how does the PGA allow the LIV golfers to play in the tournament that bears its name? I know Grant explained it to us last week. There's certain exemptions, and guys that are previous champions, and so they're always invited back to play. But Koepka didn't sound like he was all that interested in talking about what it meant for LIV, because it was his championship. LIV is a team-based thing. This is not a team-based thing. He's his own team and everything. But is this – look, this isn't the kind of thing that gets LIV Golf like a better TV deal, gets them off the CW or anything like that. I wonder if it really brings – everybody knows the golfers that are there. They know the stars that are playing for this league. Did we really?
That's why they are there. They went and grabbed stars. They went and grabbed name recognition. That's why they got to the LIV. They didn't just take anybody. They wanted people. There's a lot of stars that didn't go there, but that's what they tried to do, is to get that instant name recognition. Faraday, the announcer that walks around and talks, he was one of the biggest names known out there. So that's what they tried to go do, is grab all the names.
So this doesn't lead to any detente between LIV and PGA. I don't know if that's what the LIV golfers necessarily are looking for. They were there to get the big payout. They got the big payout, and I guess more than anything, it was pushback towards those who thought that it wasn't, they weren't going to be playing real golf there. That they were like taking a step back, because if you've got the PGA champion and guys who finished second and third in the Masters, well, chances are you've got a pretty good tour. It's just a different thing. But are these two organizations? You ever see these two organizations being able to coexist? Not maybe side by side, but knowing that 4 times a year, and maybe in the Ryder Cup and those sort of team tournaments, that they do play with each other and against each other?
Yeah, they'll coexist. The thing about the LIV Golf Tour is it's a traveling circus. There's no competition. These are all, it's all exhibition. Now they can say there is, and there's a team game, but they're all getting paid already to show up. It's like, so Tiger was on the PGA Tour, and there'd be a tournament in Japan, and so they would give him $1 million just to show up, and then there's one time he didn't even make the cut. But they that name recognition. So that's what it's the Harlem Globetrotters. It's the Bozo Circus that comes in. They're still practicing. They're still playing at high levels because they're naturally talented, but there's no grind. It's just all easy. It's just like, hey, we're already here. It's kind of like the NBA in the regular season.
Sure.
So like, why would we try to hurt anybody? Because we're all making so much money. We're all in this together, and that's kind of what the LIV is. So it takes it away, and that's what we're talking a little bit about these college national. If they're going to go into different pods and have different, SEC is going to get so many people. You want the games to mean something. It's like the LIV golf tournament is just for show. It's just an exhibition circus, and it's pretty cool.
I do like the idea that in the PGA, it's like how I used to picture what prize fighting used to. You shouldn't call it prize fighting anymore, because the big fights, at least everybody knows what they're making going into the fight. You're fighting for a chance to move up in the rankings or earn a belt or something like that. But I do appreciate the thought that in a solitaire sport, which is what golf is, that you make your money based upon where you finish, instead of your name recognition or like you're talking
kind of like
about,
Florida State, Clemson. They should get more money because they've already done it before. We want these guys, and it doesn't make any sense. You're taking the competitiveness out of it, and you're going to lose it. You're going to lose sport if that's what you do.
I think that's a reason why people. Well, I mean, people won't watch LIV because good luck finding it, and apparently they went back to regularly scheduled programming 2 weeks ago instead of showing the end of whatever competition they were supposed to show from LIV. But I wonder if people do you want to watch this based on the names, or do you want to watch these based on like a moment like you're talking about with Block? It's like the nobody that comes up out of nowhere to be in a foursome on a Sunday that nobody would have ever pictured before, have a moment like you talk about, and maybe even win the thing. If you can't win a LIV golf tournament, really, what are you playing for? What's the whole point? I don't see it.
No, it was pretty cool. Scheffler got a birdie on the 18th to shoot a 65 on the last day. Victor Hovland, a Norwegian, he was in this fairway bunker, And no lie, the same thing happened to a different golfer 2 rounds earlier where the sand and the grass, he hits it and it embeds in the lip. And so now you got to take a drop. One of them drops it to the right about 2 feet. One of them drops it to the left about 2 feet. And I think it's an understanding of the rules because one of them still had his leg in the bunker. He couldn't even hit the green. Hovland, that's where he lost the golf tournament there. But he's a youngster, and he's going to win some majors. I think Victor Hovland will win a major before his time's done.
All right, let's break. 877-377-6963 to get with us. We've got no guests up until 1:15 when Connor O'Gara comes on to talk some college football. And I want to get into some of the big story stuff in college football because Big Ten might be expanding in a year or so. I mean, might have a little bit of a non-expansional piece this summer, which will make this stand out from the last 2 years. 2024 is going to be a reckoning, man, and it sounds like things are going to be really, really crazy. Want to thank our sponsors at Pradco Fishing Lures. They are the makers of the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Jr. It's a smaller version of the Pop and Pad Crasher. This is the bait you use all summer on the Arkansas River, especially frog fishing. Favorite thing to do in summer fishing. The Pop and Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size, has the right hook setup to catch them, and you'll find it at LearnNet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Jr. We're back with some college football talk after this on Halftime.
Here we are in the pouring home. I watch a light man for the cone. I watch a light move across the screen. I watch a light come over me. Here we are now going to the west side. Weapons in hand as we go forward.
Tommy Smith for Bet Saracen.
Hey, if you're like me and enjoy putting a little something on your favorite sporting event, then get Bet Saracen. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Download the app or go to BetSaracen.com. Oh, and by the way, I finally upgraded my 20-year-old flip phone so I can actually play too.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
This is Mark at WWL
Automotive. If spring fever has you planning road trips and weekend excursions, stop by W&W first and let us make sure your vehicle is travel ready. We service all makes and models, foreign or domestic, offer everything from routine maintenance to major repairs. Front ends, alignments, AC systems. Come see us just off of Townsend on South O and Fort Smith. Or call me or Kelly at 242-1600. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You guys remember, I think it was like a few months ago that Tony Petitti was introduced as the new Big Ten commissioner. Figure, well, he's inheriting a league that has this crazy television deal with 3 networks worth $1 billion, and they're getting in the 2 California schools to the Big Ten, and then maybe looking to expand after that. Kevin Warren apparently did some great work, right? The former Big Ten commissioner, now president and CEO of the Chicago Bears. Well, the Bears, once they start figuring out how their new stadium is going to be built, they might want to read the fine print of the contract, because I wonder if Warren did that. Tony Petitti has inherited what feels like a little bit of a mess going into this summertime, because there's some upset TV partners with that conference right now, and Pete Thamel writes about it in ESPN, and some of it is like in the weeds kind of stuff, but apparently, so who owns the rights to these games? The Big Ten sold the rights to all of these football games and to the Big Ten championship games, not realizing apparently that the Big Ten network owned all the rights to the championship games. The Big Ten network is mostly owned by Fox. Warren gave NBC the Big Ten championship game in 2026 and did not have the authority to do that. So they have 2 TV partners based on this, completely pissed off about it. And Fox is owed some money about not making up some of the inventory lost from the COVID pandemic. This is on the schools to pay back a total of $25 million. and then the NBC is going to get the prime time Big Ten game. This is a big deal.
Because Fox used to get that as the noon kickoff, right? Yeah.
Well, and Fox will still have a noon kickoff.
Okay.
But I think the way this is going to work is that Fox shows a noon game, and it'll still be a Big Ten game, and then CBS gets the game in the window after that, and the primetime game is NBC. Now, what are the biggest brands in the Big Ten?
That's not Notre Dame. It'd be Michigan and Ohio State, Penn State.
Those three.
Yeah.
Those three. Leave it at those three for a moment, because I had not realized this. Maybe I should have, but you ever notice, like, those schools don't play at night in November? Big Ten expects that those teams will play night games on that network in November. Those schools don't want to do it for whatever reason, recovery time, classes, travel reasons, all of that. Those schools don't want to do it. And NBC thought they were going to get Ohio State, Michigan, that they would get.
Oh, like a 7:30
That's
kickoff.
what I mean.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get it. Those games have never been played at night.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah.
So now that this network executive, the Petiti came from television, and it's a good thing they hired a TV executive to run the league, because that's what it feels like some of the commissioners are now. There are some hurt feelings over in the Big Ten, and it's not even just feelings. It's a matter of money they thought they had that they might not have. So where it feels like everything is kumbaya and happiness, and we're the biggest league in college sports in the Big Ten. They've got a bit of an ugly week. They've got a bit of an ugly few months, I think, right now to figure this out. And then there's the other idea that the president of the University of Nebraska, speaking to the Omaha World Herald, openly predicted that the Big Ten would be adding many more teams in a couple of years. There might be some peace as far as realignment is concerned this summer. But I think that peace all comes to an end when we're in the summer of 2024.
They want Notre Dame. That's who they want, right? They want, the Big Ten wants Notre Dame football.
I would think that they do want Notre Dame, but there's, like, you can't convince Notre Dame just to do it. Like, their TV deal ends at 2024, and they're going to negotiate with NBC. I think what I read, it's $22 million a year that
they want 75.
NBC pays. They want 75. Yeah. If NBC is going to be showing these primetime games as well, they're going to be spending quite a bit of money. I would imagine they'd want to get Notre Dame, but it's the ACC ACC and the Pac-12 obviously are the two most vulnerable leagues. And maybe none more so now than the ACC, with all of these schools that have come out. Florida State, Clemson, Miami, top of the list. I think Florida State kind of leading the charge on this, that they're unhappy with the distribution of money. And if there's one way to break up a business partnership, it's to try to convince your business partners that they don't mean as much to the business as you do. You can see the direction that this is going. Now, it's not that all the ACC schools would break up and join the Big Ten. There could be some of them, because you do have northern ACC schools, Pitt, Syracuse, Boston College, to name a few. Maybe the SEC scoops up some others. But I think you're right that when it comes to a possible breakup of the ACC, Notre Dame needs a place for their other sports to play. What are they going to do? Go join the Big East again for some of these other sports? Are they going to be an American Conference school for the other sports? I doubt it.
They've never felt like an SEC school. They've never felt like a Big East school. They've never felt like a Big 12 school. If you're just going out there, what makes sense, for me anyways, just being in this area, for the last 40 years, it seems like Notre Dame is a Big Ten school. I mean, you think of Notre Dame playing Michigan State, you think of them playing USC. They have the coolest schedule out there. They get to play anybody they want. But you think of them as being a Big Ten school. And if these teams are going to 10-team pods or 9-team pods, if you're going to have 4 of them, 6 of them, whatever you're going to have that are going to be all competing, Notre Dame needs to be in one of those pods. And putting them in a Big Ten in those type of schools, I think, would be great for TV. And familiarity as well.
Well, I do think that once you start adding more schools to some of these, to the two leagues essentially. I mean, you got a Power 5 right now without a real feeling that it's a Power 5, because once Southern California and UCLA leave the Pac-12, I don't view that as a Power 5 any longer. It's a diminished league. The Big 12. Look, you can add Cincinnati and South Florida and Houston and all of that, but it doesn't have the weight of Texas and Oklahoma. The Big 12, is it part of what I would view then as the Power 4? Maybe-ish, potentially, sure, maybe, but it's not all the way like it used to be. ACC, I just can't imagine that league's going to be staying together much longer than 2 or 3 years.
Now they're in a mess.
They're dealing with.
Yeah, they're in a
total
mess. Yeah.
So now you're talking about a Power 2. Now you're talking about the Southeastern Conference and the Big 10, and then everybody else. And then everybody's trying to join those two leagues. And then like I remember this scenario coming up when Texas and OU announced they were joining this league. The whole idea would be like, well, you could have 232 teams. It's legit. That legit could happen. I could see a scenario where that could take place. You got to be happy that Arkansas is in the position that they are. That they're safe, they're in a successful league. Nobody's leaving the Southeastern Conference. Nobody would think of leaving the Southeastern Conference, and you're in a position that you don't have to grow. Well, you don't need to grow, but if you have to, because of the landscape of everything, you can.
Well, you're getting Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC, which is going to be awesome. And I think they will. I think it'll be 20 teams in the SEC. Eventually, you have your 10 teams, and if you can, it might not even be called the SEC anymore, but however it gets going. And then it'll be like that eventually with teams in your area or however teams you want to say in your conference, where you have your 10-team pods, everybody plays everybody, and then you have, or it can be 9 teams, whatever, and then you have your couple out of conference games, and you have a real champion. And then those teams that win your East, West, North, South, whatever your directional division you want to call it, then you play the next winner for an all-out SEC champion. That's how you have your whole SEC champion.
Well, obviously the Big Ten isn't going anywhere. They're not going to be losing any programs. It's just a matter of trying to make your business partners happy. But I know the school presidents and the athletics directors just seemed a lot surprised by what actually was in or what isn't in that TV deal with the 3 networks. And so you're over here in the SEC, you're like, yeah, we've got one TV partner now. One. We know exactly how much money we're going to get from them. There's peace amongst the schools. All of the revenue inside the league is shared equally as far as television is concerned, and no one's pointing like you'll point fingers for tampering with players in the transfer portal and all of that, but everybody else across college sports is doing the same thing. It really is. This is the Southeastern Conference is the most kumbaya league in all of college sports. Even the Ivy League can't put their hands together and sing the same way that the Southeastern Conference can. We can sing with you if you want, 877-377-6963. Wrapping up the second hour of halftime after this quick break.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Margaret from Conway.
I always played 2004, 20 and 4. That's Mr. Biscuit's adoption year. When we win, I'm going to give him the life he always dreamed of. Isn't that right, Mr. Biscuit?
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, the sweetest fruits of life come from serving others. And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. Top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Looking for a piece of equipment? Head on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore their latest offers and deals as a Wacker-Neuson dealer and Cinnabogan authorized service provider. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need complete, at Sharp Equipment, they help you move more than just the world. They help you move forward. From excavators to powerful skid steers, Sharps can find the right equipment for your needs. See Sharp Equipment located in Central Hydraulic at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call 479-242-1406.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All you Trekkies and TV addicts, don't mean to this, don't mean to bring static. All you Klingons in the house, grab your backstreet friend and get loud. Blowing doors off hinges, grab you with the pinches. And no, I didn't retire, I snatch it off with the needle nose pliers.
You look overhaul. What you won't you never seen before? Riding in the glaze and the Lord key, you know. Like a place with the bass, so that could be like they're in a hate, so I'm a mother naked night with practice running that you know. Alright, now you ain't call no belong cause my farm ain't fast, so what's up with that? I got friends and family that I respect. When I think I'm too good, they put me in check. So believe when they say I'm no better than you, except when I rap, so I guess it ain't true like that. Troll and you just don't stop. Guaranteed to make your body rock.
Check it out. What's it all about? We're working out. Let's turn this mother party out.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Right to the phone, Will in Little Rock. What's up, Will? Appreciate your call. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Hope y'all are too. I wanted to know if you've seen the new D1 predictions that just came out, because if that's what we get with like Indiana as our 2 and then matched with Alabama, it's regional, I just want to know where we can sign up for that today, because that would just be super easy. And then also, have y'all heard anything on Ron Holland?
Oh man, I was waiting for that question. In fact, I had a Ron Holland update for you guys for the end of this hour, so it's well-timed phone call here, Will. And no, there is no update on Ron Holland. I'm never expecting an update on Ron Holland. I think, unfortunately, while I'm here in Hoover Week, which is Limbo Week, that Ron Holland continues to be in limbo as well. But we'll get those once a day. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. As far as the D1, I didn't see those until you mentioned it. Arkansas is a 3 overall seed. That's about right. I think that's about where they're going to land. Arkansas will be either you win this tournament, maybe you're a 2. I don't know. But it's not going to matter all that much. I think they're going to be a 3 or a 4 seed overall. Indiana, the 2. Oklahoma, the 3. Maine, the 4. It's funny, too, because last week the D1 baseball guys did an all-total regional with Little Rock, Texas, and I can't remember who the other school was, but it was from close by here. Oklahoma State might have been the team. But it looks like Oklahoma State has done enough to get a home regional. I think Texas might have done the same thing by virtue of winning the Big 12. And yeah, they got Texas as the 16 seed, so it looks like they've gotten off the 2 line for now. I don't know enough about Maine, but why not? Why not? Sounds good. Indiana and Oklahoma, Big 10 school, Big 12 school. I'd be fine with that. It doesn't sound like it'd be the most difficult regional in the world, and then being across from Tuscaloosa would be another interesting thing. How about those? How about the Alabama Crimson Tide? Their coach gets fired for gambling against his team, and they're going to go host a regional anyway.
Really?
It's pretty amazing. They've done very well.
So their coach was the problem. He was the one bringing them down there for a little bit.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe the guys knew.
What are
Coach
the odds
doesn't
you would
have
have put on
confidence
that?
in us. What? I'm sorry. What's that?
What are the odds that you would have put on Alabama hosting a couple weeks ago?
No kidding.
And do you think Brad Bohannon would have bet it?
I wonder if Brad Bohannon would show up for any of those games, or if you got to be persona non grata in all of Tuscaloosa right now. You can't show your face anywhere with what's happened. But that's true, man. I mean, it's crazy. First of all, for Alabama to even be in position to host, because, Arkansas's got the best SEC conference game record in the league since 2017. Alabama has the worst. So just the fact that they make a regional is pretty impressive for that baseball team. Hosting a regional, I don't know the last time Alabama played at home in the NCAA tournament. I do know we're getting into the third hour of halftime, so you can call or text us at 877-377-6963. Connor O'Gara joining us in about 20 minutes. It'll be Connor's last hit in probably 2 weeks, if not more, because he's going to be a daddy soon. I mean a real daddy, like a father, not like a Daddy Diggs.
13.1.
More halftime next.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big Tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline.ag is your #1 source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart up! Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that damn shoe, bro! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Into the third hour of halftime on still a cloudy, overcast day in Hoover, Alabama. 7th floor of the hotel, so I can see past the Galleria Mall and off into the hills of central Alabama. Beautiful, really very pretty. And it's good to be back in Hoover for, I don't know how many days it'll be, but at least a few days, that's for sure. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. 13.1. You think Connor's got the 13?
Somebody in his family does. Then it's okay. It's not. It's. Do you see Carmelo retired after 19 years? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Yeah, he didn't play last year, but announced his retirement now.
He wanted to get picked up. I think he was still trying to make a playoff push. Some of those guys, he's you think he is a Hall of Famer now? Basketball Hall of Fame, yes, because they do it different. Is he an NBA Hall of Fame player? Never won a title.
Ninth leading scorer.
Won a high school championship. Very next year, won an NCAA's championship with Syracuse. Darko Milicic went number 2 overall to the Pistons, and Melo goes, 3. They could have got Melo. The Pistons didn't even use Darko, and they won. That's the year they won their NBA championship. So he could have actually won a senior, first-year rookie. Didn't go there. I think he is a Hall of Famer. He was one of the best players on the Olympic teams when the Olympic basketball teams were going on. Just never really had that success. Really bad trade when the Denver to New York, and you just trade for players and couldn't get any other pieces around him. Melo's a bona fide scorer, one of the best scorers to ever play the game. He had a window there where just absolutely unreal, unbelievable talents. And it's cool now seeing all these kids, Melo, LeBron, all their sons are up there playing now, trying to get Rajon Rondo. They got their boys up there playing, so it's pretty cool.
Melo's last year with the Lakers, that would be 2 seasons, or last season, not this year, obviously. 13.3 points per game, and shot 44%. But, 22.5 points per game over a career that lasted 19 years. 9th leading scorer all time. These are the only players that scored more points in NBA regular season history than than Carmelo did. LeBron James, Kareem, the Postman, Kobe, MJ, Dirk, Wilt, and Shaq. That's it. Every one of them is a Hall of Famer except those who aren't eligible for it yet, which would be LeBron. And Dirk isn't eligible yet, but he's a first ballot guy when he's eligible. Can't imagine if you're the 9th leading scorer in league history, you got to be there. But not all of these players won championships. Karl Malone never did. Nowitzki won one title, right? He won a title.
Yeah, he did. Dirk.
Chamberlain had multiple titles.
Yeah.
Shaq had multiple titles. They are the one difference is Anthony never played in the finals. I of course remember Karl Malone and Stockton and the Jazz losing to MJ in that last year. That was the last year that they were together, if I remember correctly, right?
Well, and when he was in the West, you have to remember 2009, they played the Lakers. That's some of the best Laker teams that were going. Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant, and you're looking. And I was looking back at that trade that we were talking about. That they traded everybody. I mean, they made the trade, and then it was like, well, who else are you going to get to go on your team, man? And it was, they sent Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, Timothy Mozgov, and a future first-round pick. Then Eddie Curry, Anthony Randolph went to the Timberwolves. It was wild back then. Ronaldo Bachman, a guy that played at South Carolina basketball.
But the guy was it's safe to call him a walking bucket, right?
The thing is, did his game travel as much as everybody thought? Because it was kind of, you got into, there was a Tracy McGrady feel to him where it's like, yeah, sure, he looks pretty, he can score buckets, but when it gets down to it, is he going to play defense? Is he going to make the right play? Can he actually win a title? Tracy McGrady, never close. Same type of thing. Steve Francis, what type of player is he? Paul Pierce was kind of in that mold for a little bit until Doc Rivers got there. You got KG and Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, some other people around him because Paul Pierce wasn't good enough. Real similar. Paul Pierce and Carmelo Anthony, it's flip a coin right there. Who do you want? They get to their spot, mid-range game, it's over.
But Pierce had a cast surrounding him for an NBA title
for a couple years, and they were able to win one. Exactly. Melo just and I think you saw that change though. So that's in the 08s area around there, but you saw that change in the 2010s where Kevin Durant went smash and grab to Golden State. You're seeing players try to move around while they're still in their prime and say, "Hey, let's get our services together and let's have 3 stars." Melo was just thinking he was kind of like, hey, I want the money now and I'm going to do this on my own, where you got to have a little help out there because there's no denying his talent. He's a generational talent. It's just, is there any substance there?
Yeah, Melo's teams got knocked out early in playoffs. For a guy who was around the NBA for 19 years, only played in 83 postseason games. And I don't have anyone else's page up, but I would just assume, well, let me just pick one of these guys. Who's ahead of him in scoring? Shaq is just ahead of Carmelo Anthony in scoring. You want to take a quick guess before I even pull the page up? How many career playoff games Shaq played in?
Well,
if 77 is what Melo played in, what do you think Shaq played in?
Quadruple. He probably
216.
There you go. Yeah. So he. Shaq, there's no if 100 times out of 100 times, if you got Shaq and Carmelo sitting beside each other and you're picking guys for a 5-on-5 game, you're taking Shaquille O'Neal over Carmelo Anthony.
Well, it's legacies so often in sports are built in the postseason, and that can be a little bit unfair sometimes, right? Like, and maybe it's different sport to sport because in basketball, one player can dominate a little bit more. But, Barry Bonds got to one World Series. He was great in that series. He was kind of miserable in the other postseason games. That's a career that was made in the regular season, fully in the regular season. I'm trying to think of other great NBA players.
Charles Barkley.
Barkley did get to the finals once.
He got to one. Yep.
This
Vince
is
Carter. Karl Malone.
This is kind of but he did get to that final.
He got to the finals a few times with the Jazz. Yeah.
Well, let me pull up Karl Malone here too.
He got to the finals twice with the Jazz. Then he went to the Lakers for 1 year. I want to say he played 19 years as well. He finished out with the Lakers that last year when they tried to get Gary Payton.
No, you're right. 19 years.
Yeah.
19 years. Malone played in 193 regular season games. So it was like
playoff games. Yeah.
Or playoff games. A lot of Melo's teams either weren't good to make the playoffs, especially with the Knicks, or once they got there, they never advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did advance, it might be one round. There's only 2 years, I think, that his teams won multiple rounds in the playoffs.
Maybe even like a Damian Lillard, modern-day Damian Lillard, a guy that can just give you bucket after bucket, smart player, high IQ, just doesn't have a lot around him. I think Melo is smart. I do think that there just was not a lot of people around him. And when you get to that level – man, and I heard somebody say this. They say two players can get you to there. 2 players can get you to an Eastern Conference Finals, to a Western Conference Finals. But it's about 3 through 7 if you're going to have a chance to win a title. And Melo never had a 3 through 7. He was kind of as a one-man show.
All right, we got a caller on hold. I'm going to take the phone call and then we can take our break. Hey, caller, you're on halftime. Appreciate your phone call. What's going on?
Hey, Phil, Matt, how are you guys?
Yo.
Good. What's going on? How are you?
Doing good. This is Jeremy out of Tulsa.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, I was just calling to see. So the new projections came out for the baseball regional and super regional, and I don't know if you've looked at that yet, Phil, but they have the Fayetteville regional. They have us playing Maine as the 4 seed, and then Indiana as the 2 seed, and Oklahoma as the 3 seed. And then pair it up is the Tuscaloosa regional, with Alabama being the 14 overall national seed, 1 in their regional, 4 is Samford, 2 is Southern Miss, and 3 is Arizona State. So my questions to you guys are, how accurate, I know it's late in the season, it's just conference tournaments from here on out, but is that going to be pretty much set in stone? And if so, what are your guys' thoughts on the regional and the super regional? Thanks, Phil. Matt, have a great day.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. We brought that up in the final segment of the last hour, and I trust what the D1 baseball guys put out there. They're usually pretty accurate. In fact, there's been other regionals where I think they might have nailed all of the teams coming into Fayetteville in previous years. And I think last year they also had the Hogs going to Stillwater, so they usually get these things right. How you figure out that Maine is coming to Fayetteville and Indiana is coming to Fayetteville, I don't know, because a lot of times the committee will seed regionally and then just like throw in a team that's from way out from somewhere else, like a Central Connecticut, or when California came to play at BUM. And then there's other years where you can get just schools that are sort of regional, like TCU or Southern Miss or SEMO or Missouri State. Last week they had Little Rock as a team that was coming into Fayetteville, and they had Texas coming too, and I think they had, I think it was Oklahoma State. Now they don't have any of those teams coming here, so things tend to change on a week-by-week basis. The D1 baseball guys usually are pretty accurate about, at least about who is seeded where. But sometimes it feels like when you're looking at Maine and Indiana coming into Fayetteville, that has a sense of, well, the teams that we had going into Fayetteville now look like they might be top 16 seeds, and so we got to throw something against the wall and see if it sticks. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. We're going to break here on halftime, and then we're going to talk with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South for the last time in a couple of months, so stay with us.
Who would have guessed her family crest and suddenly spy tattooed on her thigh, and son of a gun, it's just like the one on me. Tell me, how was I supposed to know we were both related? Believe me, if I knew she was my cousin, we never would have dated. What to do now? Should I go ahead and propose and get hitched and have kids with 11 toes and move to Alabama where that kind of thing is tolerated? No, no, no.
Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha, and the road show continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win, come from behind style in the 9th inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omaha's.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot values at any of our 4 locations. 1-gallon chlorine or 13.3-ounce pool shock, only $4.97. 10-pound triacicide granules, $7.99. And 2 cubic foot Miracle Grow Moisture Control potting mix, only $12.99 with your Ace Rewards card. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com. Yeager's Ace Hardware, offering real service with real savings.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yeah, the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Beckert Van Buren is seeking a plant electrical engineer. Candidates must hold a BSEE from an accredited university and have experience with power distribution and project management. Applicants should also be able to specify electrical gear and plan for future expansions. Beckert is a renowned international company known regionally for great pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at Beckert and Van Buren at Exit 3 off Interstate 40.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
We're going to say hello to Connor O'Gara, and then we're going to have to say goodbye to him for a couple of months because he's going to be on daddy duty while the rest of us are enjoying a summer vacation. But that's exciting, Connor. And, man, you and your wife must be on pins and needles these days. How you guys holding up?
Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're taking it one day at a time. It feels like any given moment, you just kind of never know. Had a doctor's appointment earlier today, so not looking like we're going to have that in the next 24 hours. But you just kind of never know with these things. Now that we're less than a week away from the due date, it's becoming a lot more real. So yeah, we're going to enjoy a little bit of time away, paternity leave, doing that whole thing. But we're probably just going into this and going to become experts on all things babies. That's the way that it goes for the first time parents. So the next time that we talk, I'll have just a bunch of tips to be able to share with everyone because that's what everybody probably wants to hear.
I can't wait to find what your time is on how quickly you can change a diaper and get the diaper on and then wrap the other one up and throw it and shoot it like a basket, because that's a sure sign of a father once you can do that, and you can turn it into a competition, which is what we're all about anyway.
I mean, it just means more. That will be a competition. It's just like when I was a high school catcher and I would practice whatever my pop time was. This is a really similar thing.
It's a
I'm
different
sure
kind of a pop altogether.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you said there. Yeah, 100% different, but we'll become experts in time. That's what I keep being told. It's like, I've never changed a diaper in my life, but by the end of doing this, and when you do it X amount of times in a given day, I mean, you don't really have much of a choice but to become an expert in this.
Connor, where do you see Notre Dame ending up in all this? We were talking earlier with I think their TV schedule's out in 2024. They want triple their money that they're getting. I don't see them as a SEC school. I see them more as a Big Ten school. Where do you see Notre Dame ending up here when everything kind of comes together?
I think they're going to stay independent. I mean, I really do. I don't think that they're going to join a conference, despite the fact that there is so much motivation to join the Big Ten, an invitation that we know has been there forever. It's not like this is, they're only going to offer them at the turn of this new media deal, and they would never be willing to make that work. No, like Notre Dame has pretty much what feels like an open invitation to join the Big Ten, and it hasn't done that despite all of these increased rights deals. And now that deal with the Big Ten, who knows? Probably don't want to be a part of that, and that's looking a little bit more murky than it did a few months ago, a few days ago even. So, I think Notre Dame stays independent for a while. And if you point to the college football playoff and say, well, you have to join a conference because you want to be able to get that bye, I actually disagree. I think Notre Dame is a team that could really benefit from having a home playoff game. Imagine if Notre Dame was hosting Tennessee in a home playoff game, and the snow is falling in South Bend, and they win a first-round playoff game. Like, how huge that would be for the spotlight of the program. I think they have days like that in their future, and I think they stand pat.
Well, I think the Nebraska school president just kind of – I wonder how many schools he freaked out or how many conferences he freaked out with the prediction that the Big Ten is going to be expanding next year, because you've got – heck, I mean, it was just recently that there were rumors that Oregon and Washington had already accepted a move to the Big Ten. Now with everything going on in the ACC and the feeling that maybe that conference, if people find a way to get out of that grant of rights, which I keep hearing is ironclad, but these schools are, these magnificent seven are doing things for a purpose. You're looking on both coasts for a league that's obvious to be happy to be a national sports league from coast to coast now. And man, I mean, they put them on notice, and it's like nothing's going to happen this summer. It's all next summer when we hit ground zero, which is the 2024 football season, when everything is going to change, and I just can't imagine that the landscape will look the same at the end of summer 2024 that it does right now.
I'm going to guess Oregon and Washington are going to the Big Ten. I think that's the next move. When that happens, exactly, who knows? I mean, seeing the way that this entire thing with Kevin Warren has played out, with not having this media deal locked in, they announced it, and the money back that Big Ten schools are going to owe. Who knows if that maybe we'll put that on the shelf for a little while. But I tend to think that Oregon and Washington, it makes the most sense. I mean, the SEC has been pretty adamant, Greg Sankey specifically, that they want to stay in this region of the country. And it's not just, let's get from coast to coast, let's do it that way. And Greg Sankey has kind of been pretty out there, I think, in terms of the way that he's addressed the regionalization of the sport and wanting to keep the identity of this conference associated with this region, where the Big Ten has just been like, nah, you know what, we don't really care. We like being coast to coast. And you're going to have this proof of concept with USC and UCLA for the Big Ten. So you don't even have to be sort of the West Coast guinea pigs if you're Oregon and Washington, and two institutions that, quite frankly, could be getting a whole lot more money in the Big Ten. As long as this media contract is indeed fixed out, they could be getting a whole lot more money in the Big Ten than they are the Pac-12. So I think that's the next major move to happen, and maybe that'll take maybe a year to be able to get that in the works.
Connor, when you read Pete Thamel's story in ESPN, and you see kind of a mess the TV deal might actually be for the Big Ten, and they've got some big things to figure out as far as that's concerned, and that includes money going from schools to networks that they weren't expecting. When the Pac-12 feels like it's imploding, and ESPN apparently says that they're not negotiating anymore for any content from the Pac-12. The ACC, we've talked about that. The Big 12, it's growing a little bit, but it's not what it was before. The SEC is a standalone league in college sports. Yeah, there's some infighting about transfer portal and tampering and things like that, and people will feel that the league office might lean towards this school or the other. But when you see how they share the revenue equally, nobody ever thinks about leaving the SEC, and why would they? When you know that there's peace amongst the members as far as all of those things are concerned, but there's not peace amongst other members. There's no league in college sports that is run as well as the SEC.
There's a great realization that every SEC fan should have in the midst of this fallout with Kevin Warren, and that is, you are in great hands with Greg Sankey, and you should sleep at night knowing that guy's going to have the conference. He's going to have the conference's best interest on the top of his mind with every decision that he makes. And that includes the new scheduling format, which some teams are going to claim that, they've got it more difficult than this team and that team, whatever. But at the end of the day, you can hit that pillow knowing that your league commissioner would never do anything quite like this. And to think that anybody could come into the SEC and poach one of their programs like we saw Greg Sankey do in the Big 12, or like we saw even Kevin Warren do to the Pac-12. To think that anything like that can happen, or that Greg Sankey would sign a media rights deal lasting 20 years, like what we have going on with the ACC, which has created a lot of unrest with the Magnificent Seven. Greg Sankey would never put the SEC in a position like that. And for all those who continue to say, like, you know what, the SEC, people are just, they're homers, and you guys are living in your own world. No, the SEC is sitting so unbelievably pretty, entering this very new era of college football that we're about to embark on. And that's not even just the expanded playoff and what NIL is becoming. That's potentially getting into the pay-for-play and all of those other things that are going to be associated with these new media contracts that are going to bring in more money than ever. So I look at it from that standpoint, and I think Greg Sankey has given a lot of SEC fans a reason to feel pretty good about themselves on this Monday.
Connor, we got into this last week a little bit. Arkansas has brought in, out of the transfer portal, a full defensive unit. 2 defensive ends, 2 tackles, 2 linebackers, and now 6 defensive backs, 1 safety, 5 cornerbacks. And I think they're planning for, however long Quincy McAdoo is going to be out this next season. We don't know the situation, how long he'll be out, but I guess I would just be surprised if he's ready for camp. So you bring in a couple extra defensive backs. But that tells you, Sam Pittman wanted to change his defense up. You got a new coordinator. You got a full unit that has come in. What are there any other teams in the conference that you're aware of that brought in like a full unit? I mean, when you're looking at a unit like 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a quarterback, or like with Arkansas, they brought in what you could legit have, like you could have a full nickel or dime package off of just the incoming transfer class.
I think Auburn would be the closest. They've had 19 in, 19 out. Hugh Freeze has been extremely active in the transfer portal. They're like the majority of their offensive line is group of 5 transfers who are multi-year starters. That just kind of goes to show you how much rebuilding they had to do. Let's be honest here. I mean, you had to. You can't be that bad and just, we're trusting our development. No, last year told you that your development was not where it needed to be. And in turn, what it also told you, though, is that you actually know how to evaluate the transfer portal. And I thought amidst all of the issues that Arkansas dealt with last year, one of the takeaways was actually did pretty well in the portal. And I thought they hit on some key areas, on Jaden Hazelwood, obviously, and Drew Sanders being the biggest one that you're able to hit on. But, you're looking at a defense that needed an overhaul. You can't finish last in the country against the pass and not have an overhaul. And, you lose, in addition to losing Drew Sanders, a bumper pool, you lose Jordan Dominic and Miles Slusher and Galen Catalan. You lose these guys to the transfer portal. What choice did you have? You had to be able to use that to your advantage. And Arkansas might be the most, might have the most year-to-year change of any unit if you want to factor in scheme, all those different things as well. But, man, you had to. You didn't really have much of a choice because you can't be that bad defensively 2 years in a row, especially if you're not willing to dip into the portal as much as St. Pittman did.
Connor, I know before you were about a couple months ago, you were talking about you were running a marathon or a half marathon. Did you end up running that, and what was your time?
I did. So I did a 10K. I don't want to hype myself up too much here, but we came in at I had a 7:37 average mile pace.
Whoa!
So
that's getting it right there. Yeah,
man.
I got after it. We ramped up the training. It was the most tired I've been after a race in my life. And I've only done one half marathon, but it was a little bit of a slower pace. But man, I booked it. I went all in. I was, pretty much treating it like it was, last game of the regular season.
That's the kind of time that would make me puke at the end of the race, Connor. I hope you held it all together.
I did. I definitely had some moments where, like, when you hit like mile 4 and you think to yourself, man, I've still got 2 miles left. I can't keep up with this pace. And for whatever reason, though, like if you guys have ever done like a race in, like a bigger crowd or something like that, there's just something about that adrenaline that kind of gets you going in those tough moments. It was hard though, man. Like Orlando heat that day, it was not ideal. One of the more impressive physical feats of my entire life, and I'm proud to say that I did it as a 32-year-old guy.
Well, I'd be impressed with that too, very much so. I want to also, on the last thing, because I know we're not going to be talking, and we're letting Connor decide like when he's ready to start doing radio hits again here. You and your wife planned this perfectly, and take it from somebody that didn't do the planning very well. My 2 kids were born smack in the middle of the baseball season, so that was not very good planning on my part. You've done your planning. You don't want to be going to weddings in football season. You don't want to be doing birthday parties in football season. So very well done, Connor. And I don't know if you planned it that way, but even if you didn't, really well done for you and your lovely bride.
Yeah, I did. We definitely planned it that way. Totally, 100%. Can't say that was exactly my mindset, but it worked out very, very well. Hopefully we'll be able to enjoy this time away and not necessarily have the entire conference blow up or anything like that. But, yeah, very, very thankful to be able to have this time in the summer, and hopefully we'll be able to regroup, and I'm sure I'll see you guys or at least some representatives of yours at SEC Media Days coming up here.
Well, I'm about 2 minutes away from that hotel here in Hoover right now for the baseball tournament, so I don't know. I'll probably make it back to Arkansas before that happens. Connor, good luck. I know it's nerve-wracking, but I'm excited for you, and hopefully everything goes well. I'm sure it will, and we'll talk football sometime on the other side, okay?
Sounds good. Gentlemen, really appreciate it. Be well.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, national columnist and expecting father. Those are some.
How exciting!
It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Just pins and needles, right?
Yeah, he's had his backpack for 2 weeks. Sooner or later, you're going to have to, change the clothes inside of the bag because they've been in there for a month. But that's nerve-wracking, exciting, all at the same moment, and then it's almost like life begins when the kid comes. You got to learn it all over again. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. We'll be right back.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move, and look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big Tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline.ag is your #1 source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And the Nuggets in Los Angeles, 7:30. Bet Saracen has the Lakers favored by 3.5 for what very well might be the last game of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow. Bet Saracen's got Miami favored by 1.5 at home. So all kinds of other games and prop bets available right now for NHL, Major League Baseball specials. Even got NFL season specials up right now on the Bet Saracen app. The Bet Saracen app is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. They've got anything you want right there. If you want to put a little money on your favorite sporting event, Bet Saracen is on your Apple iPhone or any Google Android phone. Also available on any web browser at betsaracen.com. I would put good odds on Dave Van Horn being named SEC Coach of the Year in 20 minutes. It's unfortunate we're not on the air after 2 o'clock today because that's when the SEC postseason awards come out.
Be all right. We can break them down tomorrow.
Well, we will break it down tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there's only one other coach I think that could even get some votes.
Jerry Stackhouse.
No. Yes. Yeah, he was your coach of the year for basketball.
He got half a coach of the year, right? Hillman Buzz, I think, shared it. Yeah. You think there could be a coach where they could share it again? Like, I know you're not a fan. I'm not a fan of that either. But sometimes there is two worthy, candidates and two deserving candidates. Do you think there's any way it could be split?
I think the only other coach that could get some votes would be Florida's Kevin O'Sullivan. But they haven't faced the same kind of obstacles that Arkansas faced this year in terms of injuries more than anything else. They've been healthier, but it's not to discount the fact that they did finish with the best regular season record overall. They won 42 games, which is more than anyone else in the league. But the Hogs and Gators never played each other, and they both are 20-10. I'm totally biased with this, but just being around the team, truthfully, the fact that they're 20-10, things could have gone in the totally other direction.
They could have been 10-20 very easily.
They could have been 10-20. That's right. And it's the players that deserve the credit, right? But the coach has to push the right buttons, put the right player in the right position. And every time that they've needed somebody to fill in a role, it has worked. Whether it's been, Hagen Smith as your Friday starter to start the season, and then moving him to relief. And that worked for quite a while. Hunter Holland starting on Fridays until he tired out a little bit, and then moving him to Sundays, and that's worked. And moving Hagen back to Fridays definitely has worked. I think he's going to I still am waiting for him to take that next step forward, but he's been good as that Friday starter. Just all the injuries as far as the position players. The right person in the right spot of the lineup at the right position, whether it's been McLaughlin as the DH or Diggs in right field or Holt at second base. They've always pushed the right button. And of course, when you're coach of the year, your assistants deserve some of the credit.
It's a team.
Too.
It's a full team award, from the trainers to the players to everybody that had to step up. I agree with you, Phil.
Yeah, so Nate Thompson and Matt Hobbs would deserve some of that as well. And Dave would always point out that about those two. Like, that's one thing that makes him the coach that he is that he doesn't coach the hitters. He doesn't coach the pitchers. He'll talk to them when he needs to talk to them, but it's why you hire people. You hire people with great resumes, with great reputations, that are really good at what they do, that know how to communicate to
that's
all
echoing
kinds of
the
different
same
people,
message. Yeah.
But never going off that message. That's exactly right. And I know Dave has won the award before, but this year I think he could legit. Now, they don't do the National Coach of the Year until after the postseason. So I get to Omaha, and he very well could end up being National Coach of the Year. But I think if you're looking at regular season, I think the Wake Forest head coach deserves some credit, and then I think Dave Van Horn has. I can't imagine anyone else that has dealt with the obstacles that they've dealt with and still come out on the other side with a ring, because they're going to end up with a ring. So that'll come out in 17 minutes. And here's the other. So the other things that come with this are first, second team, all the positions and everything.
Phil, basketball, I don't know that I'm a fan of the way basketball does it. They definitely do it a little different as far as there could be 8 people on the first team. Is there just one catcher, one first baseman for first team, or how do they do it? Is there like a special teams guy like in football? It'll be like you could have a kick returner, punt returner could be your special teams guy. Is it just by the list, straight down the road?
Pretty much. I don't think you put together like a full pitching staff, like 5 starting pitchers and a closer.
Two starting pitchers should be your first team is what I would think.
I think that's what it is. I think it's 2 starters and a closer, and then 1 at each position with a designated hitter.
There you go, designated hitter.
They'll put a utility in there sometimes too, which they've done in the majors. I think they've added like an extra gold glove for a utility player that plays multiple positions. But
is there a percentage of starts or a percentage of innings? Like in the NBA, you have to play a percentage of so many games. Do you have to have so many at bats to qualify for it to be? I mean, surely you do, right?
I don't think you would get certain votes unless you have certain numbers.
Fair enough.
In order to get those numbers, you
got to play.
Yeah, you got to be in the lineup on a consistent basis. So I'm just like going through my head as some of the players that really should be getting some recognition for the kind of seasons that they have. And Hagen Smith has had, I think it was the 3rd lowest ERA in the SEC. So that's a potential guy to maybe make first team. Definitely should be second team. Jace Borfin, I think he'll get some second team candidacy for the kind of year that he had. Jared Wagner would have been a first teamer if not for the injury, and so that probably knocked him off that list. But looking through here, there really aren't that many players that will be on the first or second team All-SEC from this Arkansas lineup. Maybe a Kendall Diggs, maybe a Jace Borfin, and then Hagen Smith. And after that, I don't know. That might be it. That might be it for a league champion to have 3, and that speaks to the job done by the coaches. It speaks to the attitude of the players. And this is something that if you watch them all year, you've picked up on this. There is no one big dog on this team. There is no 2. I don't think that anybody on the team views anyone else as more important than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cohesiveness to the way that they act around each other. I've been around in minor league baseball. You get a lot of cliques. You get the kids who are the Latinos and the white kids and the
kids that are just passing through for a month and they know they're going on to something else. Yeah,
that's exactly right. You end up with cliques, and you end up with the kind of lack of community sometimes that can just destroy a team. But all these guys are just fighting to get to the major leagues anyway. In college, I've seen teams that aren't necessarily like together, and you wonder where are the leaders and do they really get along. This team does. They really do, and I think it comes through in the way that they play. Let's take a quick call before we take the break. Cecil, we got like a minute. How you doing, Cecil?
That's all I need. I don't know what y'all have been talking about because I've been having to take care of a few things, but I just want to jump in, give my little 60 seconds, and towards the game tonight, I don't think L.A., which I'm an L.A. fan, I just don't think we have enough to be dealing with Denver. Denver is totally loaded. I mean, they're simple looking, but they play basketball and they execute. But next year, this year, when the season starts back, Kyrie's going to be running the point. We're going to make a few adjustments, and we're going to keep going that way. Matt, y'all have a good day. Love y'all.
Thank you.
See y'all tomorrow.
Thanks,
Cecil. Appreciate you, Cecil. Good to hear from you. All right, we'll break. Wrap up halftime after this.
It's Old Fort Days Rodeo time, and Jelco Outdoors, your locally owned work in Western boot store, is ready to help you go in style with a new pair of cowboy boots for men, women, and children. Brands like Justin, Tony Lama, Corral, R. Watson, Durango, Ariat, Twisted X, Rocky, and Nakona. Blue jeans by Ariat and Wrangler. And stop by the Jelco booth starting Memorial Day, just outside the Old Fort Days Rodeo at Harper Stadium. Let's get ready to rodeo at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom-cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best Of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
$1.2 billion. Imagine what you could do with that much money. Well, thanks to the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you don't have to imagine, because we can tell you exactly what's possible. You can fund more than 720,000 scholarships for Arkansas students. Scholarships that have educated teachers, nurses, engineers, welders, computer coders, and more, changing their lives and reshaping their communities in the process. So keep playing, Arkansas, and together we can imagine what happens next.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
If you missed anything on Halftime, we'll have the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out. Matty T gets that out very quickly as always as he continues to run the show over there. And Ruskin and Zach are standing by. Take you from 2 until 7 o'clock. and then we'll do this all over again tomorrow on halftime. NFL owners, Matt, have approved an emergency third quarterback proposal. Won't count on the active roster, but does have to be on the team's 53-man roster. Practice squad players are not eligible, according to the story. But you can't have an emergency quarterback on game day. And this maybe this would have helped out the 49ers.
Well,
what was that? Was that the championship game? Was that was the NFC championship game, right?
By the time they were down that far down, yeah, because they'd had a couple get hurt in the regular season. Yeah, it's good for, if you have somebody competent out there that you can hand the ball off, because we all know that if you're going to your fourth quarterback of the year, y'all are in trouble, because there's not 32 starting quarterbacks out there. So to have a starter and a backup, and if you're down that low, man, I don't know what the right thing is to do there, but yeah, you need another quarterback there that is competent and can run the plays for you.
I always love the idea. It's like, yeah, the punter over here threw 2 passes in college, so go ahead and he can try it over here.
Well, it was like our field goal kicker pulled his groin in right before the game, during warm up. So our punter was kicking off. It's like, oh yeah, you punt, you can kick too, but then you can't. It's not really the same thing.
It's all the same kicking motion, isn't it? Sure.
They are talented, and they do practice the other thing, because that's kind of your role on the team. You got to do that, but I don't think we kicked a field goal that game.
If we could only designate an emergency catcher so that you don't have to put some guy who's
that should be a college. Yeah, they're so reactive too. I think the NFL is, when they see something that happens, like, okay, let's fix it. So maybe college can be that way too. Maybe it has to happen to somebody else where it's like, oh man, we need another catcher up there.
We've got 4 quarterbacks on the roster, right? You got 4.
Oh, in college?
Yeah, for Arkansas, it just depends on how many you've recruited.
Yeah, we got plenty there. Yeah.
Razorbacks have 4 of them right
We got
now.
a great quarterback room, Phil. Like when you're looking, if you just look out, you look at the quarterbacks there and the quarterback coach there. I really think it's better than it's been in the last few years. So it's going to be a good. I'm looking for big things this year.
Last thing, one quarterback to another on Ben Roethlisberger's podcast. He had Kenny Pickett. He told him, "I wouldn't say that I wanted Kenny to necessarily fail, but when someone comes to replace you, I didn't want him to succeed." Oh, my gosh.
Big Ben. Hey, whoa.
Way to be honest,
whoa.
Big Ben.
Maybe keep that one to yourself.
That's just fun.
That was kind of like.
Everybody's got a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, well. Good for him. Good for him.
Oh, for Matt.
Good
Jones,
to have you back.
Matt and Travis, I'm Phil. It was good to be back today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now get up, get out, and get better.